Andy Droney is Senior Director, Health and Innovation at ADT. And Andy joined ADT in March of 2008 as branch manager for ADT's Baltimore, Maryland office. In a previous role, Andy served as Director of Customer Experience, supporting ADT customer care centers, and as Director of Innovation Programs, where he was awarded a patent for his work on developing a portable system for managing events. And I am really pleased that he is here today to talk about one of the most important issues for family caregivers, keeping our loved ones living at home longer, safer, better. Andy, I always say to caregivers, stay aware of the new solutions for your loved ones. And a case in point is anyone who hasn't been paying attention to the significant changes over the last several years in home security will be astonished. Can you tell me about the latest ways that ADT is creating a safer home for a loved one?
The way ADT sees its role now is we're a security company. Obviously the obvious security solutions around keeping intruders out have always been a core competency of ours, but we're also the largest home automation company in the world. And there are a whole host of opportunities and products available now that not just keep your home safe and keep intruders out, but make your home safer while you're inside the house. We're also getting into mobile security that make you safer when you leave your home. But from the home automation perspective, we feel like repurposing the devices that may have traditionally been used for security, such as motion detectors or door and window sensors, can be used now in conjunction with those home automation devices, light switches, door locks, cameras, things like that, to provide a safer environment inside the house. And for caregivers, that's especially important, not only from a convenience perspective of being able to turn lights on or off with either motion or voice or things like that, but also from a safety perspective when you start to think about setting up routines and automations in the house. One that I think is a great one that we use a lot in our home automation and security systems is the use of night lights. So you can set up a motion detector, which had traditionally been used to detect if somebody enters the house. That can also be used to detect motion when, say, you get up out of bed, and it would turn the lights on. Now, it doesn't turn the lights on 100%. It can turn the lights on at 10%. So it's like a night light. You're not being blinded, but you're not going to trip over something on your way to the bathroom. We've come a long way, not just in all the technology, but making it really easy where you don't have to be a rocket scientist or a computer programmer to set those kinds of things up. So I have parents who are older, but they're independent and they live at home. We have a system in their house, and if they're sleeping in and I want to call at, say, 8 o'clock in the morning, I can actually look on my app and see if there's been motion in their house, and I know they're awake or they're not awake. I don't want to wake them up and rouse them from a good night's sleep. I can say, hey, mom's up, or mom's not awake yet. That may be cause for alarm to say the mom hasn't woken up, or it may be just, hey, she's sleeping in. I'll give her a couple more minutes before I call her and wake her up to start the day. So you can start to gain insights as to what's going on. You can also view cameras just on your phone to see what's going on. Hey, mom's up and she's moving about. Everything looks good. Everything's fine. So there's all kinds of interesting ways to repurpose those automation and security devices in a way that allows folks to stay at home longer and stay more independent when they're at home and not feel like they're constantly being bombarded with phone calls to see how things are going.
I also really appreciate your background in customer care, because as we've seen over the years at our Fearless Caregiver conferences, when ADT folks are with us on the panel or even at the tables, there's so much care and consideration for the family caregiver. And I see that everywhere and every time. Is it as important the who works with you than the what products you have?
We put our agents through customer care training, and we take it to another level where we provide special sensitivity training. So for instance, we have it's about a 2-hour-long class that every one of our agents goes through, where they put on gloves that mimic dexterity issues. And they're asked to deal a hand of cards and asked to work with a smartphone so that they understand some of the challenges that folks might face. We also have 5 different types of glasses that we make them wear and go and perform different activities that mimic different eye conditions. So, macular degeneration, so that you put the glasses on and you can't see in the middle, you can only see kind of peripheral and things like that. And we ask the agents over the course of this training to do different activities so that they really understand what the customers are going through. And I would say I'd put the ADT agents above all the rest in terms of the amount of training and the care that they give for our customers. We've been in the business for a long time, but it's our care agents that really set us apart. And it's really important when you're talking about life safety issues and understanding what's going on. Sometimes people push the button because they're lonely, or they're just, they need to talk to someone, and our agents are trained to handle those calls. It's not a situation where they say, oh, okay, I got to get to the next call. This isn't an emergency. I'm going to hang up. We'll talk to them. If somebody with one of our mobile systems presses the button and says, hey, I'm lost, we can find their GPS coordinates. We'll guide them home, or we'll get somebody to come out and help them out. We're offering a service now, is what we're calling our check-in call service. And it's a very simple concept, relatively low tech, where we'll set up with a customer who wishes to be called. We'll set up a window of time where one of our specially trained agents will give them a call and just have a conversation with them. We collect some information about, their interests, and find out what they like to do, what they do on the weekend. And we'll just call to have a conversation with them. It's a low tech service, but we call you on the phone, pick up the phone, we have a little conversation with you, take some notes. We can shoot those notes to the caregiver. Hey, mom's feeling good, or she said this was bothering her. And if the caregiver wants us to ask particular questions, we'll do that. We like to keep it more of a light conversation, not a whole lot of a checklist of, did you do X, did you do Y? But it's been a really interesting service that we've tested out, and we're starting to see some real traction on.
Andy, what sort of smart home security solutions does ADT offer, and in what unique ways would you recommend using these solutions?
So ADT offers a whole host of traditional security systems, door and window sensors, intrusion detection. But on top of that, we also offer what we'll call life safety devices. So smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and they're all monitored, which is very important. One of the things we're most excited about is we recently announced a partnership with Google to build products for our home securities and home automations services and the systems that we use. And that really opens up a huge, a vast arena for us to combine different devices. So it might be a voice-enabled system using a Google Home device where you can talk to your system and have it turn on the lights, turn off the lights, lock the doors, alarm the system, etc. You can check in through those devices, so you can actually place a call from one to another. You can place a call from your phone to one of those devices. And then the Google Nest cameras and all the different devices that they add, you can check in on a loved one and see how they're doing without really intruding on them. The other thing is, from a safety perspective, if your smoke detector or carbon monoxide detector goes off, we can set that up so it turns off the fan on your air conditioner, so you're not blowing smoke or carbon monoxide through the house. Those kinds of automations that will just happen in the background help keep people safe. And it's really like kind of taking security systems and home automation to the next level.
Andy, what's the one most important piece of advice you'd like to share with family caregivers?
I would say the most important thing is look for the different options that are available to you, and think about, like, what are your needs and what can you do with technology to, provide you the ability for that loved one to be cared for, so that you have peace of mind that they're safe, and then they can get help quickly, and that you can check in on them just as if you were kind of in the home. You can, through either cameras or video or chat or voice assistants, you can check in on folks and make sure that they're okay. And you can also get them help if needed, very quickly. And that's what ADT has been doing. I tell people we're a monitoring and response company. We've been doing it for 146 years. We monitor signals and we get them help when they need it. It might not always be paramedics or police or EMTs or fire, but it might just be a neighbor to come over and help somebody get up off the couch because they might be stuck in the couch. So we're the experts at getting people the help that they need. And there's a whole host of technology that allows them now to do that, but also to stay in the place that they consider home.